weekend for the Avon Tyres National Formula Ford 1600 Championship is only a few minutes away here at Kirkistown. Yesterday's race was nothing short of epic, and I think this one's going to be exactly the same. Michael Eastwell starts on pole position after his victory yesterday, with Ross Martin alongside him on the front row. But after a couple had rather bruising encounters in yesterday's first race, there are a few drivers coming from further down the grid than they'd like. One of those is James Clark, who I'm going to try and have a little word with if I can. Just dive in here. James, quick chat with you if that's all right. Yesterday didn't quite go to plan, I think it's fair to say. What's the game plan for today to get back up at the sharp end?
Same as yesterday. We were just chipping away and it was going well. Obviously went from 8th to 2nd, so and then it obviously all kicked off. No, it kicked off long before that, but it all kicked off in my race. But yeah, just same before. I mean, it wasn't anything I could have done differently, so just same as before, I think.
The racing around here, we said this time and again yesterday, is so close. The margin for error is so small. How much respect, though, can you give each other when you're fighting tooth and nail for podium places?
More than was given yesterday. I mean, overall, like the lead battle wasn't particularly bad. It was just that yesterday wasn't our best showing as a formula. You know, there was 2 incidents in the lead pack, well, 3 including mine, and then there was countless other incidents. So we didn't cover ourselves in glory yesterday, to be totally frank. But, you know, at times there was really good racing and really good respect given. So I think if we do more of that, then it could be a good sort of slipstream battle with sort of 8-10 of us fighting for the lead. But I'll just be doing the same as yesterday, just trying to go forward.
Looking forward to it. Best of luck, mate. Well, we'll keep an eye on James over the course of the race today. Another driver coming from towards the back of the grid after an even more dramatic afternoon yesterday is Rory Smith. Rory, you're starting a lot further back than you'd have liked, I'm sure. What's the game plan?
Just get to the front as quickly as possible. Yeah, just try and put some nice overtaking moves on people. It's a nice slipstreaming track, so I'll definitely be able to hopefully get to the front. So we'll have to see what happens.
At least yesterday you proved you had the pace to run at the front and lead laps, so the car clearly working well this weekend. It's quite a tricky track to get right as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the team's done an amazing job. I mean, BM Racing have worked tirelessly, and MCP Engines have given me a great engine package this weekend. So I got to the front. I was sort of controlling the race in the front until I just got wiped out by a dangerous manoeuvre from Jonathan, which is unfortunate, and it wasn't at all my fault. But as it is recently, he sort of just got away with it. But yeah, like you said, we've got a really fast car, good package, so I'm confident we can get to the front.
Good stuff, thanks Rory. Well, this is going to be a good one. I think Scott Woodwis has the pleasure of talking you through it. Scott, over to you.
Thanks, Andy. Should be another fascinating contest here at Kirkistown, particularly after what happened yesterday. So the grid is formed by the result of race 1 for race 2. So it's Michael Eastwell and Ross Martin on the front row, followed by Jonathan Brown and Jamie Thorburn on row 2 from Spike Colbecker and James Clark, then Morgan Quinn and Michael McPherson, John Svensson, and then Alan McBurney round out the top 10. Then our 5 DNS with Alan Davidson 11th, Jamie Sharp 12th, then William Heron, Rory Smith and Ivan McCullough. Watch for those 5 cars from the back who hit strife yesterday. You will certainly want to make light work of the cars in front to get themselves back towards the sharp end of the field. So, can Michael Eastwell pick up his 2nd win of the weekend and of his career on his comeback to National Formula Fords, and someone else steal the glory? Plenty of onboard cameras, the red lights go up, and race 2 at Kirkistown in Northern Ireland is underway. It's a nice strong start from the front runners. Up towards turn 1 they'll go for the first time. Here's Jamie Sharp's view, completely blocked by Formula Fords in his way. That's Alan McBurney just in front by the looks of it. But up towards Colonial for the first time. Eastwell leads from pole. It is Martin in 2nd place. Diving down the outside of everyone goes James Clark. Fantastic move round the outside for 2nd place, possibly 3rd. That's Rory Smith now going down the outside of somebody on the exit. He's got Alan Davidson and Morgan Quinn just in front, going side by side. And Davidson slips by the young Ginetta Junior graduate, the young man from Ireland. Is it Rory Smith's turn next? He tries to go up the inside line. And Davidson's carving his way through on the opening lap here, around the outside of Spike Colbecker into the chicane. Alan Davidson from 11th on the grid is certainly not hanging around on this opening lap. And neither is Rory Smith. Here he goes to the inside line past Quinn. And the young Team Dolan driver capitulates on the drag down to the hairpin. Here they come. End of lap 1. And Ross Martin again took to the outside line with 2 Cliff Dempsey cars battling amongst each other. And here's the scrap between already. Alan Davidson picking his way towards the front, then Spike Colbecker, and then Rory Smith. So Smith is around about, looks at the 8th or 9th place on the end of the opening lap as they charge down the pit straight to start lap 2. Here's Jamie Sharp in the wheel tracks of Micah McPherson, in the second of the Kevin Mills racing cars, out of Debtor's Dip, and down towards the right hand. They're bounding around under brakes as they hit the bumps. And there's Ivan McCullough in 27, the white and green car, who was dumped out of race 1 by William Heron, who I think is just behind him there in the race, so certainly no love lost between those two. Here's Michael Eastwell, who is under pressure from this man, Ross Martin. That was the onboard shot from Martin in 2nd place following yesterday's race 1 winner. And we've got Clark in 3rd, Brown in 4th position. Now they head down the back straight once again, and Martin with a great toe on the run towards the hairpin. Here comes the championship leader. Takes to the outside line, he'll look for the undercut down on the exit of the hairpin. They hit the brakes together, no lock-ups. Straight and true under braking, but here comes Martin with that traction on the exit, as he was promising to do. It's side by side in the run down the pit straight. James Clark has the best possible view as he watches Ross Martin on the right, edges way in front of the race leader Michael Eastwell. Martin does go around the outside into Debtor's Dip, and Michael Eastwell has to do nothing but capitulate. So now he's back into 2nd place. They go back into Colonial, into the right-hander. It could be 3rd, in fact, because here comes Jonathan Brown again, watching James Clark as he goes back round the outside for the 2nd time in as many laps to once again pick up 2nd place. So a cracking move from James Clark. He did that once at the start. He does it yet again to go up to 2nd place. He loves the outside move at Colonial. I wonder how many more times he can pull that one off. So there goes Jonathan Brown in 4th position. This is a replay further back of Jamie Sharp that we caught off camera. Went diving up the inside of both Micah McPherson and his teammate Morgan Quinn, but didn't really work. Locked up and has found himself on the beach in the gravel, sadly. The leaders head down to the hairpin. Now we see Jonathan Brown going down the outside, taking his turn to put Michael Eastwell under pressure. And there is Jamie Thorburn, and right behind them is Alan Davidson. There he is, car number 6, the White Mondial, one of the oldest cars in the field, and he's up in 6th position. There he is, white car at the back of the leading 6. So from 11th place on the grid, Alan Davidson's the big mover in the first couple of laps. Rory Smith's also made some good progress from towards the back of the grid as they squirm under brakes into the right-hander at Colonial. Brown slots in back behind Eastwell for 5th position. And just behind them we see Jamie Thorburn and then Alan Davidson. Brown actually contending for 4th behind Eastwell, forgive me. So out of Fisherman on the sprint towards the chicane now. This is the closest battle on track so far. It's Spectrum versus Ray, Kevin Mills versus Cliff Dempsey. Two very competitive teams, two very competitive drivers battling amongst each other. Here's Robbie Smith in the Medina, run by BM Racing. He's now closing in on Spike Colbecker, who isn't as quick as he'd like to be this weekend, but trying to bag as many points as possible. Into the hairpin they go, and still no real change in the order. Eastwell trying to sneak back up the inside for 3rd place to get back past Jonathan Brown. And there's the signal from Rory Smith. He's got past Spike Colbecker, and he says to Spike, look, don't battle me, let's work together. Push me, let's catch the cars in front. Because he knows the harder those two fight each other, the easier it is for the 6 cars to pull away in front of them. But at the same time, if they work together and the top 6 start squabbling amongst each other, they can possibly get into a prime position where they can start picking up more championship points and valuable places in the race. So let's watch for those two trying to work together. That was a shot of James Clark there, chasing after leader Ross Martin. There's 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th in shot. There's Jamie Thorburn, and the white car there is Alan Davidson and the Mondial doing a cracking job. He did this exactly the same last year. It was up there with the front runners, and he's doing it again. And I'm sure underneath his helmet, he's absolutely laughing his head off, enjoying this like nothing else. And here comes Jamie Thorburn with his turn to make a move on Michael Eastwell to push him down to 5th position up the inside of the Spectrum. Couldn't make it stick and slots back in behind Eastwell to maintain 5th place. There's Jonathan Brown, tucked in behind his teammate James Clark as the 2 Cliff Dempsey cars continue their pursuit of race leader Ross Martin. So Scotland leads, England 2nd, Ireland 3rd, and here comes possibly, that was James Clark, way out of shape under brakes into Colonial, very lucky not to hit the back of Ross Martin, who goes deep into Colonial. I think he was distracted by the fact that he looked at his mirrors, saw a very out of shape James Clark, and Jonathan Brown almost got past the pair of them. So I think that's a crucial point in the race. Ross Martin a little bit rattled there by the mistake from James Clark. Jonathan Brown may have started to take advantage of that, but they've all stayed as they were. And Alan Davidson with a great run off of the chicane, using all the road and a little bit more. Onto the tail of Jamie Thorburn he goes. Jonathan Brown now looking for a move on James Clark as the two teammates go into combat. Which way is he going to go? Outside. And Martin this time isn't comfortable on the traditional racing line. He has to go on the inside line to defend from the two Cliff Dempsey cars as they now go back into combat once more. They're side by side on the exit. And Jonathan Brown on the pit straight now looks across and he points to James Clark again. Don't battle me. Let's try and catch after Ross Martin. And I think James Clark has heeded the message. Keeps the outside line. And he remains in second place for the time being. Brown will try and hold his place in third. And they're still going into combat, but Brown eventually realises he can't keep on battling himself. And now he comes under threat for Michael Eastwell on the exit of Colonial. Into Fisherman through the long right-hander. A little twitch of oversteer from Jonathan Brown as he holds on to third place. And look at the car stacking up behind. Eastwell and Thorburn and Davidson. They all want a piece of the action, and I'm sure if there's any slip-up from either of the Cliff Dempsey cars, they will be in there like a shot, I can guarantee you. Just saw a glimpse at the back of the field there of towards the bottom of the top 10. That was Smith and Kohlbecker battling amongst each other. And for the second time, Jonathan Brown says, James, what did I tell you? Let's not battle amongst each other. But forget that for a second, because there goes Michael Eastwell looking for the outside line of fourth position. Gets cheekily shown the road there by Jonathan Brown. And that's now Rory Smith who comes into the pit lane, sadly with mechanical problems. So Spike Kohlbecker has lost his drafting partner. He'll have to go solo now for most of the race. And there's someone behind him, or someone in front, has an issue or catches up. There he is at the back of the shot, and just behind him there is Ivan McCullum, the 27. He's now at the inside for fifth place goes Alan Davidson. Well, that was a surprise turn up for the books. So that was Michael Eastwell losing the place to Alan Davidson, who completely caught the 92 off guard. So the race one winner is down to what is now sixth position. Alan Davidson wasting no time and no opportunities whatsoever. There he is once again in the Mondial chassis, and again now immediately hustling the back of Jamie Thorburn for fourth position. Wonder how far he can get in the order in this race. We'll keep an eye on that with vested interest. Looking to the outside line, there he is, the white Mondial, the older shaped car, compared to all the other contemporary, more smoother, pointier chassis. As they head out of the hairpin, onto the pit straight, still Thorburn in fourth position. Davidson fifth, Eastwell sixth, and just trying to sneak up behind them is Spike Kohlbecker. Here he is, the young American. He's part of the 6 driver selection process for the Team USA scholarship, so good to see him making waves not only here in the UK but back at home at the USA. And if he wins that scholarship, he will get an opportunity to race at both the Formula Ford Festival at Brands Hatch and also the Walter Hayes Trophy at Silverstone, the two big centrepiece Formula Ford events at the end of every single season. Big twitch there over the curbs, some oversteer there from Jamie Thorburn as they turn out of Fisherman into the chicane. And there is Michael Eastwell, not exactly on the same pace that he was yesterday in race one, but I'm sure just trying to bank as many points as he can at this stage. I'm sure the win yesterday was a bonus, and what it also does is it reaffirms the fact that he is quick enough to hold his own at the front and has lost none of his speed. As they head back into the hairpin once again. Still the battle rages on between the two Dempsey twins, and now the battle continues on for fourth as they come back down the pit straight. Someone's getting a black and white flag on the pit straight. There's no number, unfortunately, so I can't tell you exactly who that is, but someone's been abusing track limits one too many times. Leaders back towards Colonial again, and this time Davidson once more goes for fourth place on the outside. He's not far enough alongside of the braking zone, so slots back in behind the young Scotsman. And look at the way Spike Kohlbeck has really sailed onto the tail of Michael Eastwell into Fisherman. That is Eastwell right in front. Kohlbecker with a twitch of oversteer, keeping in the mix. Watch out for the cars behind, because Ivan McCullough and I think also William Heron's not too far away either as they turn through the chicane. There is Ivan McCullough there. So now go back up through the gears, staying in the slipstream. That's James Clark following Jonathan Brown in second place. So now it's his turn to mount a challenge on Ross Martin if he can. We'll all head into the hairpin. No major changes of position. They head through, Martin, followed by Brown and then Clark. That's the top three. There's Jonathan Brown's view. Up another gear, down the pit straight. There goes Thorburn, Davidson, Eastwell. This man, Spike Kohlbecker, in 7th place. Not his most glorious weekend, but he's certainly learning these UK circuits the hard way. Of course, he's got experience of racing these kind of cars, not with the same engines, but the same similar chassis in what the equivalent of America is F1600. So it's Formula Ford, effectively the same chassis, but they run different engines, which are 1.6 litres rather than the traditional Kent engine in these Formula Fords. And he's raced them over in both Canada and in New Zealand. And of course, as we said, part of that Team USA scholarship, hoping for that place in the Formula Ford Festival and Walter Hayes Trophy. But even so, if he can still make it to the festival, if he doesn't make it into the top 2, that would be fantastic, because of course he is a main championship contender in the National Series and looking to try and make progress. Speaking of which, Jonathan Brown fancies to look down the outside of the race leader. He will look to the inside on the exit, trying to pull himself alongside. This is the best opportunity he's had. And there is the shot from Jonathan Brown. He looks across and Ross Martin continues in front. He slots back in front on the racing line through Detton's Dip. But Brown again has got a great run through the kink. Which way is he going to go? Will he stick to the outside line, goes to the inside and park at the end of the road? And James Clark thinks, oh, screw this, I'll go around the outside line. He's not going to work with his teammate anymore. He goes bounding over the grass. So the race actually becomes a rallycross car for a split second. But even that didn't work. And that was a tactic that Jonathan Brown applied in the first race. So Jonathan almost got a taste of his own medicine there, but didn't quite work out that time for James Clark. I know he's desperate for his first National Formula Ford win, but even using the grass is a bit desperate, even for him, I think. So, onto the back straight again. Normal service resumes. It's still Martin from Clark, from Jonathan Brown in second place from Clark. And Martin, again, not comfortable with the racing line, has to go back to the defensive line on the inside. There's a little bit of a tap there from Jonathan Brown, getting a bit impatient, I'm not sure. It's certainly looking very close between them. Now the sprint down the pit straight again. The slipstream is all crucial here on these long straights at Kirkistown, and the flat-out left-handed kink is even more crucial, because a run-through here can set you up for a pass into Colonial. Where's Brown going to go? Martin puts the car straight in the middle of the road. Brown takes the wider approach into Colonial. A little bit of an oversteer moment on the exit, but he carries a lot of pace through the corner. And Brown is finding it very difficult to get past the championship leader here. Through Fisherman, every time he tries to attack, he just gets a little twitch of oversteer. He's working away at the wheel way too much and scrubbing off speed through the apex of the corner. And all it's doing is allowing Martin to hold on to his advantage, but also bring a very sideways James Clark onto his tail. But he won't be like that. Big moment for James Clark, who just about held on. You can tell he's pushing. Speaking of which, here comes Brown to the outside line. Once again, Martin puts the car in the middle of the road to go defensive. Brown tries to go around the outside, but it's not going to work. And they sprint back down the pit straight once more. Once again, Brown in the slipstream. What does he have to do to try and get past? Has Martin got every single move covered, or has Brown still got something left up his sleeve? Let's watch, listen and learn. Down towards Colonial. Where's he going to go? Outside line. He's done this once before. He's going for it into Colonial. Martin stands his ground and holds his line through the first part of the Colonial complex. Out of the second part, he remains in the lead. James Clark watches on thinking, come on, Jonathan, get the job done. But he still can't make his way through. So the first three all together. Once again, the seething mob from Ireland are on his tail. Is Ross Martin. It's Ross Martin again feeling a bit of pressure, a little wide on the exit, as were the two cars behind. Shows they're all pushing. And again, the slipstream battle continues. They all sweep to the inside line to break the toe. And again, they'll go to the outside line. It will at least Brown will and Clark. Martin again not comfortable taking the traditional racing line. And once more, Brown looks for the switch back on the exit. We're getting to the closing stages of the race. There's not long left to go now. Down the pit straight. Once again to end another lap. And Brown once more gets a great exit from the hairpin. Here he comes once more. In the toe through Detter's Dip. He goes to the outside again. And Clark's going to the outside for second on his teammate. There he goes. The two Cliff Dempsey cars almost touch wheels. And Brown has to sit back into third place. He still can't get past his teammate, who in turn still can't get past Ross Martin. Looks for the outside line to Fisherman. Again, tried to go for the apex, but found Ross Martin's car parked straight on it. So he had to get out of the throttle. There was a bit of a twitch of oversteer, and he had to sit back and think of another option. Out of the chicane, a little wide again for Ross Martin. Also, Michael Eastwell's pushing on. He's behind Jamie Thorburn, battling over fourth position. And again, the sprint down the back straight towards the hairpin. Once again, they're fanning out under brakes. Brown once more, he's tried desperately to get that undercut, but it's not going to happen for him, I don't think. They swing onto the pit straight. I think we're about to start the last lap of the race here. And they are going to get the last lap board. There it is. So one more time around the Kirkistown circuit in race 2 here in the National Formula Fords. Is it going to be Ross Martin? Will Jonathan Brown get his second win of the season? Or will it finally go to James Clark of all people? Oh, contact! James Clark hits the back of his teammate and he's off the road! Yet again, James Clark has hit more bad luck. And that is disastrous. And Jonathan Brown is one of the luckiest men on the field because he was so lucky not to get taken out himself. Well, drama on the final lap once again, and it once more befalls James Clark. What does he have to do to get luck to win a race? Well, the leaders head out of the chicane for the final time. Jonathan Brown, impressively, is still going and unaffected. His last chance comes at the hairpin, and once more to the outside line he will go. Martin yet again will go defensive on the inside. Jamie Thorburns up there in third place. Can Eastwell try and get past him? Brown looks down the outside, looks for the inside line, the undercut, but it's not going to work. And in another dramatic finish to a race here at Kirkistown, champion leader Ross Martin heads to the line, and it will be victory in race 2 for Ross Martin. A great neck-and-neck battle at the front. Ross Martin wins, and Jonathan Brown somehow holds on to second place. There's the confirmation of the results in front of you there. Race 2 order is as follows. So it is Ross Martin who wins, Brown second, Thorburn third, then Eastwell, McCullough, Colbecker, Heron, Davidson and Quinn. From McPherson, Svensson, Sharp, McBurney, Clark and Smith. Another breathtaking Formula Ford race here at Kirkistown.
Well, Ross, sponge-like, you were soaking up the pressure all race there, really, weren't you? It's not easy to defend here either.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, especially with a strong win like that, but I felt as though I made a good break at the start. You know, I had enough gap, but then, you know, you think you're okay going into the last one, and then you get to Colonial 1 and they're straight back on you again. So it was just non-stop defending. But yeah, nice clean racing. Jonathan was hard but fair, and that's what we like to see. And you know, the pace was fast even at the front, but yeah, huge pressure. You know, I was just wanting to try to bring the car home. There was a lot of incidents behind me. I could see my mirrors, and you know, trying to keep out that is key for a championship. But yeah, nice victory again.
Jonathan, well done, second place, another good result, but another race where I guess you didn't breathe for 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, again we had the quickest car, but in fairness to Ross, he placed it well. I just couldn't get him, so it was hard with James behind me because I couldn't go all the switchbacks and stuff. But look, we were third, second, so you know, first next time hopefully. So we definitely deserve a win, but yeah, I don't know.
We've sort of followed this story as well all year of the Cliff Dempsey drivers who are also evenly matched racing at the front. How hard is it though? Because you don't really want to give each other an inch, but your teammates.
Yeah, well, you know, if we make contact, we have an angry boss. So we all understand that we have to give each other some room, but you can still race it hard. Cliff allows us to race. You know, there's no team orders, which is great. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, James ran into the back of me there. But what can you do?
Well, Jamie, good to have you back in the championship and good to have you back on the podium as well. Decent weekend so far.
Yeah, yesterday was a 4th place from 9th on the grid, and today was 3rd. So, you know, we're getting closer and closer to the front every time we go out. And I mean, we're just a dad and lad team at the moment compared to the big boys at the front. So, yeah, I'm delighted with how the weekend's been going. It's a circuit I've always gone well at, and we knew that we should be relatively competitive. But to be honest, I kind of surprised myself with how quick we were in the race yesterday after the struggles in quali, and same again today. So, yeah, race 3 will be a bit of carnage. Hopefully, stay away from it all and get to the front.